Welcome to the InterFaith Thanksgiving program. My name is Janet Gray. I am a member of the Richmond InterFaith Network Committee, and I am a Baha'i. The mission of the InterFaith Network Group is to help build bonds of friendship between members of different faith groups in our area. The committee is confident that we can put aside from us prejudice and intolerance and strive with our heart and souls to bring about understanding and unity between folks of all faiths. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole world. This is the third year for our InterFaith Thanksgiving program, and we never expected it to be virtual. As we discussed the theme this past spring in view of COVID-19, we decided to focus on thanking, caring, and sharing. Thanking. How do we find thankfulness and practice it, as so many families are heartbroken by the devastation and ramifications of COVID-19 and affected by our racial prejudice? Caring. How do we express our caring being socially distant from one another? How do we care for our community members hurt by prejudice and racial injustices? Sharing. How can we share heart to heart, soul to soul, and build durable bonds of friendship, support, and assistance? How can we be unified and respect and celebrate our diversity? How can we practically express our love given to us by our Creator? We bring you sharings from diverse faiths, Baha'i, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, and Muslim, around these themes, and hope they lift your heart in these challenging times. All faith communities recognize that we are essentially spiritual beings, and all proclaim a version of the Golden Rule, to love one another as we love ourselves. We hope, as we gather today, we can feel inspired to care more, thank more, and share heart-to-heart peace, love, and justice for all. Thank you for coming today.
Hello, I'm James Solomon Ben with the Indiana Poor People's Campaign. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, all up in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. All up in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. All up in my room, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Assalamu alaikum to all of my brothers and sisters. I want to start by using the Prophet's hadith, which is قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مثل المؤمنين في تودهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم مثل الجسد الواحد إذا اشتكى منه عضوا تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. صدق Rasulullah. In this hadith, the Prophet is talking and saying that the Muslim community or people in general is just like one body. If one part of your body is aching, the whole body is working together until that part is functioning well again. COVID has been rough on the whole society and in the whole world. And Islam emphasizes the collective action and the community support in all aspects of our faith, our lovely faith. Hence, we should tackle COVID together as a community. At this time, there's a lot of limited resources in the community, and Muslims together and the whole community should just come together and provide with as much as we can to everyone to try and come together to remember to practice patience, gratefulness, and to remember the importance of nurturing strong and genuine connections. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Reverend Martell Winburn. I am the pastor of Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Newcastle, Indiana. The Richmond InterFaith Network has asked me, along with others, to give a short, very short, Thanksgiving meditation with the theme of caring and serving. So in keeping with the theme of caring and serving, I'd like to share with you a story that is found in the pages of the Bible. It's a story that has always touched my heart very deeply, a story that I have loved so much down through the years. It's a story about a man who was traveling down the road and was attacked by robbers and thieves, beaten very severely, and left on the road to die. As the story goes, and this is one of the parts of the story that I think that sheds such a wonderful light on our compassion and our love and our caring that we have for our fellow man. As the story goes, this poor man laid there on the side of the road, severely wounded, and a stranger, a total stranger, happened to pass by and see the man laying there severely wounded and dying from the wounds. But instead of passing by and leaving the man, he stopped. But this is what I think that makes this story really stand out and sends a wonderful, beautiful light on the humanity of man. This stranger, this total stranger, saw the man, and he realized immediately that this man was of a different ethnic culture, a different religious background, a different social status. There was nothing that this poor man who had been beaten and this stranger, there was nothing that they had in common. But this man who had love and compassion in his heart, who cared for others and who was willing to serve others regardless of who you were, was able to put all of his differences to the side and lend aid to this poor man. This is such a wonderful story. It's a story that we all should understand and we all should take heed, knowing that there are people in this world that are totally different than we are, but they are still people. They are our neighbors, and our neighbors is more than just someone who lives next door to us or someone who lives down the street or around the corner. Our neighbor is every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth. And when we see our neighbors in trouble, when we see that they're in need, we should have the compassion, the love that the stranger had. We should have that same compassion, that same love, that same caring spirit for others to help them in the time of need. In this old world that we live in today, there is a storm of hatred and dislike and prejudice that is just sweeping over the country. It's hardly a day passed by when we see that a terrorist, either domestic or foreign, has attacked somewhere in the world. This storm, if we're ever going to be able to control this storm of hatred and dislike and prejudice, what we need to do is to find within our hearts, within our soul, within our spirit, a loving and a caring attitude, a compassionate attitude for others, a loving attitude for others, an attitude of serving. We are all brothers and sisters on this planet Earth. And we should want for our neighbors the same thing that we want for ourselves. We want the best of life for ourselves, and we should want the best for our neighbors also. And let me share this with you in closing, that I hope and pray that, and I think that every step that we take, that every breath that we breathe, will be filled with compassion, will be filled with love, will be filled with a caring spirit, that we may help others who are less fortunate than we are. This is the message that I would like to leave with you for this Thanksgiving meditation, that we as our brothers and sisters helpers, that we should love one another as we love ourselves. And with that, I thank you for listening, and I hope that you will have a blessed Thanksgiving. I hope that you will have a healthy and a safe Thanksgiving. God bless you, God keep you, and thank you for listening.
My name is Wazir Mohammed. I am a sociologist. I teach at IUES. I've been here for the past 12 years. As a sociologist and as a social justice activist, I've been a social justice activist all my life. I came to Richmond in 2008, and since then I've been involved in social justice activities and then became chairperson of the Richmond Human Rights Commission, participated in the Children of Abraham Study Committee, and have been doing multiple kinds of community work, including a youth soccer coach here in Richmond. So I'm part of the community. But as part of the community, I'm also part of the faith community, because as a Muslim myself, coming from South America, from small community, I understand the relationship. I have come from a multicultural, multi-religious society. I understand the need for us to forge bonds of common humanity, to understand that faith is what drives common humanity, and that we should not use faith as a divider, but faith as a unifier in our communities. This is why I'm involved with other faith communities in these kinds of programs, and will continue to be involved, because I believe that these are very, very important benchmarks that communities need to reach in order to achieve the kind of commonality, the kind of humanity, the kind of humanism that is required for communities to live in harmony. As a faith, as a person from the Muslim faith, I also understand that there is not much that divides those of us who are Christians, those of us who are Baha'is, those of us who are Hindus, those of us who are Jews from one another. We all serve the same God. I mean, Muslims, Christians, and Jews believe in all the same prophets. As a Muslim myself, I have celebrated Christmas and all the Christian holidays throughout my life, and will continue to do that. I also celebrate all the Hindu holidays, because coming from a country in which Hindus are a predominant section of the population, I also celebrate all their holidays. So I hope that more members of our community would join efforts like this, so that we can join hands together to build better community. Thank you.
First of all, Tashidele, hello to everyone. Today, let's do meditation for a bit. So normally, meditation over here, it helps us to focus our mind, and it helps us to know who we are from within ourselves. So while doing the meditation, the most important thing is to live in the present moment rather than the past and the future. Living in the past, it helps us in a sense, like it put us into a regret, sadness. And if we live in the future, it led us to live in the anxiety, expectation, and worry. So since we don't live in the present, we live either in the past or in the future, we feel that we are suffering. But in reality, if we live in the present moment, it will help us to understand the present moment. It will help us to show our mindfulness. And if we show our mindfulness, and if we live in the present moment, then we'll be able to enjoy the gift of the present. So now the question is how we should live in the present moment and focus our mind. So in the Tibetan, the Gom means to be familiar with lots of different things, let's say, like in terms of the breathing exercise, in terms of visualization, all these things. So as for the beginners, the most easiest way is to focus on the breathing, right? So the most common thing is the breathing. So first, wherever you are, however you are sitting, sit comfortably. Then at the same time, try to focus only in the breathing, in, out, in, out. So with this, we'll be able to show the focus of our mind, and also we will be develop the gratitude towards the others. So let's say while breathing, thinking, visualizing that, I'm taking the oxygen from the trees, and in return, I'm giving them carbon dioxide. So we should feel gratitude towards the natures that we are able to survive with the help of the others, right? So take a deep breath wherever you are, sit comfortably, and try to live in the present moment by focusing your mind and our happiness depends upon the others, food, shelter, clothing, everything we are depending upon the others. With this meditation, doing a 5 minutes meditation, once you wake up, and think how fortunate I am I'm alive. And the energy and the life and the time that I have, I'm to use in a constructive way rather than destructive. Then in the evening, before you go to bed, do a 5 minutes of meditation and reflect on the day, how you spent the time. If you have helped others, benefit others, feel rejoice rather than developing ego and the pride. And if you have harmed and done something wrong, feel regret and develop a guts to say sorry and make a pledge that I won't do it again. And this will help to see who you are from the within. And if you can help to others, help. If you can't help others, at least restrain from harming. Thank you.
What do I ask of you? But to do justice. What do I ask of you? Says the Lord. To do justice, to love mercy, to love righteousness, to walk humbly with your God. Little children are hungry, the future is grim. So much suffering and heartache, you know it's a sin. Have mercy, dear Jesus, for we are your people, and we want to follow you. What do I ask of you but to do justice? What do I ask of you, says the Lord, to do justice, to love mercy, to love righteousness, to walk humbly with your God.
Hello, my name is Stacia Vera Malay. I'm a board member of the Richmond InterFaith Network. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here to share in our collective desire for this community, to embrace hope. We are thankful for each other. We care about each other, regardless of our different backgrounds. We are proud of our diversity, and we're glad that all of you can join us today. I was part of the Creative Leadership Program, and my task was to exemplify the diversity in our community. I believe this is a fantastic way for us to be able to join and show that right here in our own area, we have such uniqueness among us. Thank you for being part of this today. I pray for all of us to embrace each other as humans, as brothers, sisters, loving one another. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dinora. I am from Mexico. I'm a Quaker, and I would like to share with you a little bit about my family experience, my family tradition of giving thanks. It's a way of have a Thanksgiving time with in Mexico with my family. We used to do every Sunday after the meeting for worship, go to my mother's house, gather together, share food with family and friends every Sunday. And I still miss that. And my mother, there were two important things for my mother. She always said that. She said, we have to share what we have with other people. It's food, you know. And also the other thing is a place to stay. My mother always said hospitality and food. There are two important things. Hospitality and food is the way where we give back and give thanks to God and the universe through us in the way of sharing and have hospitality. And my family, my mother passed away, but my sister is still doing it in Mexico, and I miss that. Yeah, every Sunday I miss that. Right now with the pandemic, they have to stop, but they hope, and we hope, they can do this again soon, you know. And me too. I hope they can do that soon. So my mother and my family in Mexico, sharing and food, they were the two things that we always give thanks to God and the universe.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this. I would try my best, and I would probably say yes every time. I really support and am happy to have this actually in our local community where we can all come together. I will be sharing a song. It's a young children's song, but it has a lot of meanings. It is a song that I think the original one was in modern Hebrew, and I used to sing it with young preschool and kindergarten, first graders, second graders. There's no limit to age. It is a song about friends, how we should all be friends, accept each other, and respect each other, and love one another. And it is a great song. So the children used to, in Iceland, learn it in Icelandic. So they would learn the meaning of what it is. And as fast learners, they actually learned it in all the different languages that I translated into and adapted the song in all different languages. And the children are just open to different languages, different cultures, and love the song and knew the meaning of it because it was also in their native language. So it is a short song. I will be singing it first in Hebrew, and then I will go on to Icelandic, Spanish, and Hebrew. I will actually sing it in English so you will understand what it means, and it is the same in every language, same meaning about friendships, friends. We are friends, you and me, playing all together, you and me, you and me. אנחנו חברים, אתה ואני, משחקים ביחד, אתה ואני. Somos amigos, tú y yo. Jugamos todos juntos, tú y yo, tú y yo. Við vinir, þú og ég, þú og ég. Leikur okkur saman, þú og ég, þú og ég. Let's all try to be friends and respect each other, everyone. It would be awesome if we would have peace and love in the entire world. Let's all be friends. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bob Hunter, and I'm working with the InterFaith Network because I'm really concerned about justice. Religions have been at the front of many of the conflicts in our world and the atrocities that we as humans do to each other. And so as a Christian, I am very, very concerned that all of us get to know each other, that we get to see each other as neighbors, that we get to really understand each other. And I think this Thanksgiving program and others like it can really help us to do that. So I'm really glad you're here, and I hope that you are really enjoying the program, and encourage you to participate at the end as we break off into groups.
Hello, my name is Mary Garman, and I am a member of the Richmond Quaker community. I worship with Clear Creek Meeting at Stout Meeting House on the Earlham College campus. I taught at the Earlham School of Religion and in the religion department at the college for many years before my retirement. What I want to share today are some sources of wisdom and encouragement in a time of confusion and fear. Some of my comments will come from my years among friends, and others come from based on my 71 years of living. 2 insights from Quaker wisdom. First point, Quakers teach that God loves all of creation, and that includes all humans. God's gracious love brings us together and inspires us to enact God's love in practical and visible ways. We are called to see what love can do, according to William Penn. Our calling is a collective calling. And yet, at the same time, and from the earliest days until now, friends have been called to expand our own inner spiritual connections with the divine. So here's what happens. As our individual spiritual lives deepen, we grow stronger and more able to demonstrate in tangible ways and ever more clearly God's abiding love. When we enter into worship, we often use the term center down. Often when I sit down in the meeting house, I repeat 2 phrases: love of God, God of love, love of God, God of love, to help me settle into worship. This prayer helps me to remember to move inward and to move outward at the same time. Second point, related to the first one. Quakers, believing that we all have access to God's infinite love, realize that there's no requirement for any mediation of that love. We don't rely on creeds or clergy or dogma or liturgy or text or sacrament or any other way of reaching out to God. We are offered the unmediated and joyful experience of God's infinite love with complete freedom. Shift to second sources of insight. Observations of the human condition also offer us insight into our current dilemmas. For example, I have recently been awed by the realization that we are, as human beings, both spirits and bodies at the same time. I learned this in part as I faced up to the knowledge that I am not completely and fully well. And yet, at the same time, all is well with me. Another way to say this is that we are inspirited bodies and embodied spirits. We know this is true even if we don't always recognize that we know it. For example, if you have heard an amazing musical performance or have been stunned by someone else's athletic skills or really any other startling achievement by the people you are around, then you know. And if you have been present at the birth of a new human being, or if you have accompanied someone you love from life until death, then you know this simple truth. We are bodies, and we are spirits, and we are not one or the other. We are both at the same time. This wisdom has the power to humble us, comfort us, inspire us to keep on. Insight number 2 from human experience: geography, topography, and variety. In a similar way, we gain inner wisdom as we consider the multiplicity of our varied locations, geographic, political, historical, and so on. The variety is staggering to contemplate. Just the botany alone can stop your breath. Some have suggested the word manyness to describe this reality. We are many, we are various, and yet, at the same time, we are radically connected to each other, unified, whether we want to be or not. And so the question becomes, how can we be both many and one, as our nation's motto suggests we should? How do we acknowledge our manyness and at the same time retain our individuality? I don't have easy answers to this paradox, but I do believe that we have the inner and outer wisdom to help us, and that the path forward leads through interfaith engagement, such as we are doing today. And so the contradictions continue. At the same time that we open our hearts and minds to the faith journeys of others, we need to remain faithful and to celebrate our own traditions. As we practice deep listening to others' insights into the divine mystery, we recognize that one spiritual tradition does not cancel out all others. While appreciating the ways others have served and witnessed to their faith in the world, we discover what we have to offer. And we do this through rejoicing. In gratitude, we say, yes, we are many, we are one. Yes, we are different, we are bound up together. Yes, we are bodies, we are spirits at the same time. Thank you, God, for your infinite love. Love of God, God of love.
Namaste. My name is Yuvraj and I am a Hindu. And today I'm going to talk about one of the most powerful mantras or prayers in Hinduism. This mantra, it is called the Gayatri Mantra. This mantra is a universal prayer. In the Gayatri Mantra, Gayatri is a goddess of knowledge and wisdom, and mantra means chant. The Gayatri Mantra is dedicated to the universal divine. First, I will recite the mantra to you, then I will explain the meaning. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. The meaning of the mantra is that we meditate on the glory of the divine, who has created the universe. May he open our hearts and enlighten us. May the divine light of the Supreme Being illuminate our intellect to lead us along a path of righteousness. The greatness of the Gayatri Mantra is that it just does not speak about self-gain or self-empowerment, but it is a request to the Lord to enlighten every being in the universe so that all of his creations can feel empowered. So on this Thanksgiving, it is my prayer for all of us that our hearts are open and that our souls are enlightened for creating a world full of love. Happy Thanksgiving, namaste, and thank you.
My name is Barry Kramer. I am a deacon in the Episcopal Church, serving at St. Paul's in Richmond, Indiana. I've a long time been fond of our Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, and have always observed it as a Christian. My life journey has brought me to appreciation of other religious traditions, and I can see the possibility of Thanksgiving be a truly American holiday with various religious traditions participating in it. That's been my hope since we began our discussions to do something like this about 3 years ago. And I'm hoping it can become an opportunity for us to learn more about each other's religion so that we can offer respect to one another and come to share a common community in that regard. So I'm glad for those of you who have joined us today, and I hope that you will find value in it. Again, thank you for joining us.
My name is David, and I'm a Baha'i living in Richmond, Indiana. I'd like to start my brief presentation of the Baha'i Faith with a short prayer written by the eldest son of the founder of the Baha'i Faith, Baha'u'llah, who passed away in 1892. O thou compassionate Lord, thou who art generous and able, we are servants of thine sheltered beneath thy providence. Cast thy glance of favor upon us. Give light to our eyes, hearing to our ears, and understanding and love to our hearts. Render our souls joyous and happy through thy glad tidings. O Lord, put out to us the pathway of thy kingdom, and resuscitate all of us through the breaths of the Holy Spirit. Bestow upon us life everlasting, and confer upon us never-ending honor. Unify mankind and illumine the world of humanity. May we all follow the pathway, long for thy good pleasure, and seek the mysteries of thy kingdom. O God, unite us and connect our hearts with thy indissoluble bond. Verily thou art the giver, thou art the kind one, and thou art the Almighty. Baha'is are the followers of Baha'u'llah, a title which is translated to the glory of God, whom we believe is the promised one of all ages and the great spiritual educator of our time. His teachings are what Baha'is believe to be the light for this age. Baha'is are very thankful for God's gift of speaking again and in sending not one but two messengers of God to teach humanity how to unite. The Baha'i teachings can largely be described in three onenesses: the oneness of God, religion, and humanity. Humankind has passed through the stages of infancy and childhood. Now we see the drama of the adolescent world emerging into adulthood. That is, society will grow to function at the level of adults, and we will have the capacity to create unity and establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Baha'u'llah shares in one of his books, The Hidden Words, the power of justice, which helps us to see and know the world with our own eyes, a gift from God. This passage was revealed by Baha'u'llah. O Son of Spirit, the best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. Turn not away therefrom, if thou desirest me, and neglect it not that I may confide in thee. By its aid thou shalt see with thine own eyes, and not through the eyes of others, and shalt know of thine own knowledge, and not through the knowledge of thy neighbor. Ponder this in thy heart, how it behooveth thee to be. Verily justice is my gift to thee, and the sign of my loving kindness. Set it then before thine eyes. In these tumultuous times, we see hope in that God has sent guidance to form a collective adulthood with peace and unity beyond what we can imagine.
I'm coordinating for the pastors and clerks of the 3 Quaker meetings. That would be Clear Creek, the unprogrammed meeting, First Friends, and West Richmond, who's also the Zoom host. So I humbly speak for them. Quakers are seekers of the light and the truth, and I think they're very open to different faith traditions and practices and different cultures, and it's part of their tradition. I have on my desk here their favorite bumper sticker, which says, "Love thy neighbor, no exceptions." So I think that speaks their viewpoint.
We give thanks to all our speakers, to our Zoom hosts, Jim Grace and Katie Breslin, Pastor Brian Young at West Richmond Friends, WCTV for help with filming and showing this program on Thanksgiving, to Mike Gray for editing and producing the program, and to all members of the committee, Barry Kramer, Donna Eisenhower, Bob Hunter, Stacia Vermally, Wazir Muhammad, and myself. The best way to show thankfulness to our higher power is to love one another.